Good morning. Happy February 27th. Where did the February go? Hell, where did January go? I walk in the morning, I see the moon and it's a full moon and then it's not. And now the phone said 26 days till the next full moon. So we just start counting it like that because that's when that was beautiful. Yeah. It's yeah. And the crazies come out at full moon, but they've been out all month. I mean, there's really been some wacky stuff going on. So let's jump right into our agenda. We got some meeting topics to discuss. Is my microphone going good? Yes, I think it is. Yes. Okay, good. All right. Let's let Megan go first because what is the end of the month? Pandemonium, chaos, crazy. Why?
Because we decided to schedule all our closings then.
Exactly, because we're going to save $1.50 in prorations for the 4 days that we could have made a peaceful transaction. So this week is very busy for closings, as you'll see. I put the hot sheet up. We'll see that in a minute. 17 deals yesterday turned in. I like double-digit days. Those make me feel good. Right. So good. Miss Megan, what's going on with Paramount Title?
Good morning. We have a definitely a busy week. The 28th, 29th, and the 1st actually are our busiest days this week. So we're gonna end the week closing them all out. I wanted to do a quick reminder on closing dates on the contract. Please make sure that you're giving time for title to get all the searches in from the third parties. So if you have a contract that is cash, make sure we have at least 14 business days to be able to get all those searches in. Do honor before on the contract. If you want to close early, let us know what your goal date is so we can work towards that. But just keep in mind that we have to wait for other people to get us everything to be able to clear title. And if anything comes up on those searches, then we have to make sure that they're completed to get you in for closing.
What's the thing? Under promise and over deliver. Right. So don't promise we can do a closing then. We probably can do a closing in 10 days. But what if the HOA is behind on their estoppels and we can't get them in time? Then we're not closing. So then you gotta go back and make explanations for why it didn't happen. So that's a very good point. Thank you.
Absolutely. And if we do a rush estoppel, that's an extra fee to your seller. So keep that in mind as well. They do charge for rush fees, and these HOAs, they're going to charge the max amount they possibly can. So if we rush an estoppel and they're already hitting the maximum amount, your seller is going to pay. I've seen them come back at $800 with the estoppel fee and rush included. So that's a cost to your seller, and it is Satan.
You know, we got involved in something this last week or the week before, and I want you guys to understand. The title company is like a real estate brokerage, right? They're an agent of the seller. In this case, the seller, who sells title insurance? Underwriters. So First Fidelity, First American, all those are underwriters. Paramount Title or any title company is an agent of the underwriter. So when the title company says, no, we can't do that, it's because the underwriter said they can't do that. But all the anger gets relayed to the title company who said no. It's not the title company who said no, it's their underwriter who said no. Right? We had a deal last week and they're buying a house. It's a waterfront house, but it's going to be a tear down. So they're going to pay $800,000, $900,000 for the house and they're going to knock it down. And the seller doesn't want to pay title insurance on a $900,000 house because it's going to be knocked down. But the underwriter said, no, we want the premium on the sales price on the contract because we're underwriting that. Yeah. And that makes sense that they do that. But the agent got pissed off and said, well, I'm switching title companies then. The title company has no choice in the matter. And title company insurance rates are called promulgated rates. They're set by the state of Florida. And there's no deviation. It's really simple. It's $5.50 per thousand for the first 100,000. And it's $5 per thousand for every thousand after that. And it's every title company charges the same amount. The only difference is our closing fees, right? So for cash closing, I don't know, Megan, you can jump in. What do we charge for cash closing?
Buyer, it's $375. Seller, it is $425.
Okay. And so some title companies might charge $325 and some might charge $500. Lawyers charge $700, $800 for their closing fees. So that's the only deviation. You're not going to save a lot of money by jumping. And plus, what do we do, Megan? We'll beat any rate.
We will match or beat any competitor's rates, closing fees.
Yeah. There's no question about it. Now, we can't match or beat the promulgated rate because that's the same number for everybody in the state of Florida. It's the same rate. No title company can charge anything less unless you get a Butler rebate, which means you've issued title in the last 3 years. Then you can get a rebate. And we're going to ask them about that and give it to them automatically anyway. It doesn't affect us. Right. So just remember that. It's not the title agent. It's like getting at you mad at the seller. The buyer's agent getting mad at you because the seller won't move out on time. Right. We had that going on yesterday. I had happened 3 times with a phone call yesterday. The seller is not moving out. And the agent's trying to solve the problem. we can't solve the problem. The seller's going to be in breach. What should the seller do? I'll answer this question right. What should the seller do?
If
They should call an attorney.
if they're refusing to leave and the contract says they have
Mhm.
to, call an attorney so the attorney can advise them of their rights and obligations and what the potential downsides are if they don't.
Yes, and the buyer's going to damage. The buyer said, we'll give you an extra week, but we need $2,000 because it's going to cost us $2,000 to move our stuff and postpone the trucks and moving and storage and all that stuff. And the seller's like, no. Well, and then the agent's trying to solve the problem, and it's not a problem the agent can solve. So tell the seller to call an attorney. That's what you got to do. And it's not wimping out. It's just you can get in trouble for giving them advice in a legal manner because you're not a lawyer. So that's it. So it is complicated, but I will make that point so everyone understands. The title company is not you're not your friend. They're not your foe. They're your friend. Right? They're not your friend. No, they're your foe. Okay. Thank you, Megan.
You're very welcome. You guys have a great week.
Okay, we had a trick. So we're a treat for you. What am I doing today? Trick or treat. We got a treat for you today. So Sean is our new regional president for the Tallahassee market. And as we go for the last couple of weeks, we've been showing you the different markets, different trends that are happening in different areas around the state. And they're all pretty similar, right? What are we seeing? Low inventory, high sales volume, lots of demand from mostly out of state. But Sean, I don't want to steal your thunder. So go ahead and give us an update. Tell us what's going on in your world.
Hi, good morning, everyone. How are you?
Great.
Can you? Okay, you're good. Well, as you said, I've been challenged in growing in an emerging market that we have, Tallahassee. But I think once we penetrate it, it's going to go into like a snowball effect. So my territory is 8 counties. It's right in the middle of Florida Panhandle. The largest city there is Tallahassee, and the Tallahassee metro area is basically the state line all the way down to the Gulf Coast, near what they call the Forgotten Coast. So Tallahassee is our capital city. Fun fact, it was chosen to be the capital city back in 1824 because it was the midpoint between the 2 biggest cities at the time, which was Pensacola and St. Augustine. Tallahassee, some of my favorite drives that I've taken in Tallahassee or in Tallahassee, because they have 75 plus miles of roads with massive wandering oaks draped with Spanish moss, and just beautiful drive. They are a college town, home of the Florida State Seminoles, and there are a couple other colleges there as well. It is also close to Wakulla Springs, which is one of the largest and deepest freshwater springs in the world. The movie Creature from the Black Lagoon was actually filmed there. So getting into some of the statistics from my market, I'd like to share the screen if I could.
Sure.
Yes. Okay. Okay, so this is last 12 months, January over January, from 23 to 24. So as you can see, we have the closed sales are down year over year, 7.8%, and median sale price is also down 3.9% from 307,000 to $295,000. The active inventory is fairly stable, only a 1% decline. Cash sales are up 8.2%, which is an indicator of investor activity in the area. That's a good optimistic outlook. Interestingly, though, the pending inventory was up 130%. That was the end of January this year. So that's kind of tells me a real positive trend to start the year. With the dollar volume being down, what's that?
295. You got a median sales price of 295 of the country's at 400. That's like one of the most affordable places to buy in the country. Well, the half of the year.
That's right. We do get the seasons up here at least. With the dollar volume being down 11% and the new listings being up 13%, you could look at it as sort of a shift towards buyer's market.
Yep.
But
that's why we talk about micro markets, right? You can't just talk
Yeah.
about the U.S. economy is doing this. Tallahassee
Right.
is doing this, and Tampa's doing this, and Brooksville's doing this, and St. Pete's doing this, and everybody's got a different story.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I look at it, it looks like a pretty much of a balanced market to me. The inventory and pennant sales are up 130%, and 85% respectively. So that shows me some balance there.
Well, you got the state capital, you got the government, and you got the university system. Florida State's a huge campus. And there's a lot
Yes.
of investors buying condos for the kids, and they come in, the kids move, and they sell them, and it's a built-in market. It's fantastic. Cool. So
Exactly.
that's Tallahassee. How long does it take to drive from Tallahassee to Tampa?
About 4 hours.
It's only 4 hours?
Yeah, it's
Really?
not bad.
It's not
Yep.
bad. Oh, it was like 6 or
All
7.
interstate, easy driving.
Cool. Well, so if you have any referrals for the Tallahassee market, let us know. I think Sean is actually up. I heard we got our board membership done.
And we actually have a new listing there. We don't have any agents right now, but we are working hard to attract some new agents.
Cool. Well, we're growing and blowing. Cool. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
All right. New series market. Zillow market update. That's in my inbox if you don't mind. I just want to hit that real quick. Zillow Premier Agent. That's it. Read the report. You got to click it. Keep your friends closer, your enemies closer, right? So Zillow is what Zillow is. I'm not going to read watch the video. Let's just scroll down. Nearly 2 full months into 24, inflation still threatens pent-up demand. As inflation flirted with the Fed's 2% goal, consumer sentiment also improved. Buyers are increasingly optimistic about the prospect of a soft landing that brings with it job security, lower inflation, and lower interest rates. Even Fed Chairman Powell expressed some cautious optimism. So that's why we're talking about the locked-ins. You know, when I say locked-ins, the locked-ins are becoming unlocked on their own admission now because they feel like, hey, this is going to be okay. This is a new normal. We're good. Growth is going to be at a solid pace, he told 60 Minutes in February. While the economy is strong like that, we feel like we can approach the question of when to begin to reduce interest rates carefully. So they're going to reduce them. They're going to be cautious when they do it because they don't need to now because the economy is screaming. The only participant not cooperating in the inflation was again made clear by the February CPI report, which came in higher than expected, the Consumer Price Index. And a single day, the 30-year fix shot up 0.17 percentage points to 7.13%. Right? We were talking about 6. You better buy in the 6s. Now we're saying you better buy in 3s and 4s. Now we're saying you better buy in the 6s. You'll see 6s again soon. Keep rolling down. Fannie Mae's home purchase sentiment index increased in January. That's a good sign for us. Given the rate climate, what's most important is that respondents expressed more confidence in job security. 82% said they're not concerned about losing their job. Is that a good sign? Yes. Up from 75% in December. Another bright spot, 60% of respondents said they think now's a good time to sell. Interesting. When we're confident about job security, we're more likely to make those necessary life-changing moves, says senior economist, and he's the one who's in the video. While economic growth is slowing, layoffs remain low, inflation is easing, albeit more slowly than previously anticipated. And that means higher real incomes to support housing demand. It also means less pressure on mortgage rates. How a rate dip shows up in the numbers. Key stat, the average 30-year rate mortgage moved down to 6.6 in mid-January, right? And remember, you talk about quote mortgages, you're always talking about the credit worthiness of the buyer determines the interest rate they get. So you can't always talk about interest rates. Unfortunately, it's only been up since then. Still, many markets got a welcome bump this year, thanks to the rate drop in late 2023 and early 2024. Recently, new listings ticked up, especially in California and Florida. Yay. Tampa and Miami. Tampa's in the headlines of everything going on in Florida. Homes moved quickly in the Northeast for the first month of the year, which is unusual because they got snow all over the place. Boston, Columbus, and Washington, D.C. also average month go pending in 10 days or less. That's unusual for this time of year. Seattle, San Jose, and Richmond, Virginia also experienced fewer days to pending than elsewhere in the country. Mortgage applications, while still below last year, have increased in January, well below the start of the spring home selling season, which I think we've already begun here. The slightly lower, thanks, Chris. It's really good. The slightly lower rates lasted into January, but jolted upward in February. While Zillow economists don't predict a major drop in rates this year, it's not out of the question that rates could ease as inflation cools. So as long as inflation continues to moderate, the labor market holds up and activity should increase compared to this time last year. Good, because 2023 sucked. Supply was the constraint in 2023. That's improving. New listings are 6% higher than a year ago. Where's most of our new inventory coming from? 100%. Look, I think Jimmy, you sent out like 3 things the other day. D.R. Horton's pound him in the ground. Lennar's pound him in the ground. And what was the third one? Costa Fresca, West Bay.
30% last year. That's a huge.
And that's a
increase.
doctored number because they're not releasing they're only releasing their inventory when it's almost ready to be finished. They got a shit ton more going in the ground before they're putting it on the market. So they're not slowing down. What to expect in the coming months, rates aside, many early indicators point to a competitive home shopping season. Are you seeing competitive home shopping now? Yes, the answer is. Attractive listings will move quickly. Let me say that again. Attractive listings will move quickly. What makes a listing attractive? Curb appeal, 1, affordability. I was working with Kalani, she's not here right now, on the listing she's working on, and it's a house built in 2001, beautiful, great location, corner lot, but it's got 2 fundamental problems. The roof is original from 2001, which makes it 22 years old. It's tile roof, and the dock is original, and it's 24 years old. So what's going to happen to that? It's going to need replacing. So the roof's about 90 grand, the dock's about 40 grand, there's 130. So this house, we pegged it somewhere around $1.7 million if it had a new roof and a new dock, but it doesn't have a new roof and a new dock. So it knocked that 130 off and you're down to 1,570, which seems like a bargain, but it needs those things done or they're not going to get insurance, right? So that's part of the, as long as the house is attractive, because a buyer buying a house, even for $1.7 million, 20% of $1.7 million is $340,000 down. Who has an extra 140 to put into a roof and a dock? Not a lot. Well, that's the guy, but he's got the 340 on top of that. So it's more attractive if you don't have to use all your cash to get into it. So attraction is not just the carpet, the flooring, the cabinets. It's also the ability to get in without a lot of cash. And those things are expensive and they take time. You're still 4 months out for a tile roof. So you can't do that. So it's better to give a credit, right? Demographic factors and a strong economy mean large number of millennials and baby boomers are looking for houses, even while affordability issues remain. There's good news on the supply side too. We're already having more listings than we had a year ago. So supply side is picking up, which is what we need. Agents should verify that their buyer's credit is in order. Partnership with the loan officer, ensuring they're talking to a loan officer to understand their budget and help them search monthly payments. Do we have options on the loan side now? I can't wait. I'm gonna talk to Candace today about that all-in-one loan option. All right, because they got a construction perm loan on that. I think you missed that last week. Pretty cool. You get a first mortgage HELOC basically for a wealthy buyer. They could buy the house, mortgage as much as they want, then they can sell their Bitcoin or whatever they have to pay it on their mortgage, have no mortgage. And if they need cash to buy some more Bitcoin, they can pull it out of their house and go buy Bitcoin again, right? And it's just a revolving line of credit. So for a period of time, even though the rate's 7%, if you're only making a mortgage payment 4 months out of the year, you're paying less interest than if you were paying 3% 12 months of the year. It's just a cool program. It's totally unique. For seller prospects, stress the importance of working with someone who knows the local market conditions and can price their home correctly. That's where you guys bring value versus the other one. It was Jeanette I was talking to last week. She got pressure from a seller, which we're going to talk about in a minute, to take a lower commission. And the threat was, if you don't do it, I've got a friend, this is for a house in Lakeland. I've got a friend in Miami who will do it for 2%. Tell me in what world paying 2% makes sense? It makes no sense. So number one, the listing agent is going to go broke because they can't afford to take a Matterport photo or photos or put a Zillow showcase on it, right? That's their money gone. The co-broke community is going to laugh at you and say, I don't want to deal with this. Then the agent, what kind of service they provide from Miami to Lakeland? They're going to walk over the showings and demonstrate the features and benefits of the home. They don't have a sign person. They're going to drive up and put a sign in the yard in a lockbox. Ain't going to happen. But people are thinking that way. So what your job as a salesperson is to demonstrate value. And she went and demonstrated value. I'm pretty sure she got the listing. Cool. I think that's enough of that one. But that's just the concept. But is that overly good news or bad news? Good. It's all good. It's really all good. All right. This is my little rant for now. Commission and agency discussions. This is going to be my quest for you going into the next half of this year is getting you primed and ready to have agency discussions. And we've made some changes. We're making some changes that will come into effect in March. We're not going to offer single agency out of the box. You're always welcome. Get this straight. You're always welcome to offer single agency, but you're going to have to ask for it. And they're gonna have to sign something. They're gonna be a transaction broker, but you can offer single agency, people are gonna have to sign up for it. Right? And I would encourage you, I'm not telling you what to do. I would encourage you to not offer single agency unless you get a 3% listing commission. Right? I'm not telling you have to, right? 2.5 is acceptable, but less than 2.5 is not. Right? And we co-broke at prevailing rate in the market. So do see what your competitors are paying. If you're competing with builders, you're a fool as a seller not to compete with them. They're paying 3% plus a bonus. So know that. So 3 things I'm worried about: our business model, our integrity, and our reputation. So as you guys come to me or Chris or Rachel or Kathleen, and you're asking us for concessions, we're going to say no a lot more because of those 3 words. Our business model doesn't support. I can't pay an 80% commission split on a 1% listing commission and pay the bills, right? Our business model was built on a 3% commission. It's tough enough to squeeze out on a 2.5% commission. So whatever decisions we make have to work with the business model that we have, or we have to change our business model, right? So if we're going to go be wimps, see, here's my point. Good salespeople earn higher commission splits because they're good salespeople. Good salespeople charge appropriate commissions. If you're a good salesperson, but you're not charging appropriate commissions, you're really not a good salesperson, so you shouldn't be paid as much. Oh, it's hard to argue that point. I know you don't like it, but it's hard to argue. Good salespeople get more money. So that's part of it, is to deliver the promise. Integrity is being true to ourselves. We do a better job when we have more money to market to a seller's property, and we'll get them more money. And then reputation, this is a big one to me. You know, if we start going as Century One Beggins et al. And offer 1% commissions to our property brokers, I can tell you there's a lot of agents, you guys told me these stories. We love selling your listings because you pay us well. That's a reputation that took a long time to earn, and we want to keep that reputation. So the minute we let you go to 1%, then our whole reputation goes out the window. And it's hard to toe that line, but we're going to do our best to hold it in light of the competition that we're dealing with now. But it still hasn't turned that bad yet. But as desperation comes to the market, the weaker agents are going to start doing desperate things until they're out of the business. And that's just what's going to happen. So that's the first step into the grave. Side note, this is just me personally. I need to have my cushions redone. And my upholstery guy for 20 years moved to Gainesville, but he took a shop with him. And he sold his business to a girl down here in Ruskin, and she's 6 months back ordered. But I know him, and Lisa Sillo sold his house, did a great job. He actually called me and said what a great job she did, which was really nice. And it's great. If you ever need your cushions done, let me know. I'll come get them. But he can't come get them until March 15th. So I need somebody who has a truck and a kid that they'd let drive their truck to pick up my cushions and drive them to Gainesville. And this guy will meet them and unload them, and then they drive back. So a couple $100 for the day. I'll pay a kid. Here's your gas, truck, boom, done. It all fit in an SUV or a truck. So if you know anybody who wants to make a couple $100 and drive to Gainesville, turn around and come home, that's what I'm looking for. So send me a note. Ooh, Mike's got a truck and he's driving from Jacksonville anyway. Good point. He'd do that for me. Cool. All right. So we know the mastermind. We're going back and forth. I like the engagement we're starting to get. We're getting better and better and better. We'll get more creative with our questions as we get into that. But I like you guys are tuning. That's cool. Hot sheet. It's there. I just told you it's 17. You need to look at it. Go ahead and go to my inbox now if you don't mind. I'll get through this in time. Okay. March training calendar, top 1. So Angelique is doing a lot of work showing you that we're preppers. Here's my challenge. Joy gave me a report that says we have 700 agents. Wow, that's impressive. And then Joy gave me a report that showed me the production of all of our agents, but there's only 560 agents on the report. So I don't know if we have 560 or 700 agents. Number one problem, I should probably answer. But more than that, when we do a meeting, we very seldom break 100, and we have 90 online right now. So what do the other 400 people know about what our company is doing right now and the challenges they're facing, and they next to nothing, unless they're tuning in and tuning out. So that's why I repeat myself a lot, because we have different audiences at different times, but we're trying to communicate with the masses. So we're trying to get you to know, hey, this is what's coming up, so you can plan around it. So that's just one. And then there's a recap, which takes a lot of time. Angelique goes through, and Chris rambles on a lot. So she cuts all that stuff out and she shortens it down. And so do I. And so when she does the, in case you missed it, those have been, go to the in case you missed it. So she says what the topic is, what the class was, the high points, and then if you go, that'll be the video, but it's been edited down. So it's not a full hour. It'll just be easier. So if you're missing the stuff, there's real reason. We're trying to communicate with everybody that we can. And I'm preaching to the choir, so no discount to any of you, but it's there. The listing showcase on whatever February 22nd was. Is that Thursday or Friday? Wednesday? I don't know what day it was. But that was a special section where Bobby Sachs, our Zillow guy, shows you the features and benefits of the Zillow showcase. So if you miss that, once again, you're here, so you didn't miss it. But it's there, and it's a separate, shorter video. So it's just that one section. And then we did the all-in-one closing loan program. That's what Candace Blackburn did. So if you wanted to see that, that were mixed together. So that was kind of cool. Back to the thing. Inbox. Oh, go to Mike Mealer's, third one down. I just thought this was interesting. So Real Trends, which I actually like that publication, not that it matters, but they rank offices, brokerages, and agents. And I just got this yesterday. Mike sent it out. Individuals to compete in the Real Trends top 1,000. It's 40 closed sides or 16 million in volume just to be eligible. So that kind of just raises the bar. 40 closed sides. That's like 3.5 a month. That's a lot of consistent business right there. And 16 million is over $1 million a month in production just to be qualified for the top 1,000. Of course, there's 1 million agents, so that 1,000 is a very small percentage of 1 million. But I saw they put that out there for fun. And they are breaking down teams now. Small teams are 2 to 4 members, medium teams are 5 to 9 members, and large teams are 10 to 20 members. So that's going to go. Just a preview, Jimmy's neighborhood news. I hope you guys are doing this. It's cool. It's just a nice little thing. And I can't say it another way. If you're not talking to your customers, Zillow is. And so is Realtor.com. And so is Redfin and anybody else they've signed up. And Homes.com is coming down hard with their $1 million marketing budget this year. Right? This is just good information, but more importantly, I know that Jimmy's thinking of me and he's reminding me of my home value. And I know it's a game, but if I'm thinking, I'm going to call him because he's staying top of mind. Right. And these should be automated. I know Jimmy didn't send this to me, but it was cute. I got a lot of responses to my Valentine's email that Jimmy sent out for me. It was so nice of you to think of me. Thanks, Jimmy. Exactly. I remember that one. So I did start. What's Zillow Premier Agent Intel up to? Okay, did that already. In case you missed it, we did that. This week's work, that's on the spreadsheet. We don't need that. That one there. This week in learning, that's it. So this is upcoming this week. So she does a calendar in advance and then boom. So we got different people coming in at different times. And that's just a reminder to, hey guys, come on. And then we're sending out reminders at, right before the meeting starts with the Zoom link. And I also put on my list, add the company calendar. If you have the company calendar on info@c21be.com, that'll give you the link for every class because they're all in there. So we don't have to do it. We're sending the link in every email we're sending though, who we're trying to reach. And that's, listing showcase pricing. Just hit that one more time. Scroll down. Oh, it's a PowerPoint. All right, so 76 more page. You know what I'm talking about? Zillow Showcase. I'm excited about that because one, I want to use it as a listing tool. And I really want you to say, seller, I'll give you this tool, but it's going to cost me a bunch of money. And I can't do it at 2.5%. I'll do it at 3%. And then you show them because your listings get 76% more page views, 55% more saves, and 75% more shares. And then you show them a demonstration. We've got those PowerPoints built for you. And we're going to roll this out probably March 18th, I think is our rollout date. And that is a $400 charge. But if it's not through our brokerage, it's 400 up to 400,000, and it's 550, 750, or $1,000 for the exact same token. But since I bought them in bulk, we'll get them that way.
To sell that.
A lot of ways.
Look at these stats. If I sell your home 2 months faster and you don't have to pay 2 more months of a mortgage, taxes, insurance, and everything, that's about $3,000 a month. I'll save you $6,000. I'm saving you 1% right there. So stop trying to beat me up on the commission. I'm saving you 1% by paying for this. So I deserve the 6%. Also, with this many more page views, I'm more likely to get a buyer. If I get a buyer, I'll save another % and go down to 5% if I bring the buyer. So that way I get an additional 2% and the company gets their portion of that. But I'm going to save you money by getting me bringing the buyer, and I'll save you the 1% there too.
Yeah.
This is called to sell that.
2024 appropriate. All right.
When will this start?
On March 18th.
March 18th, it'll be available. We're putting together how to get it into the deal sheet, how to properly notify order. So the back office puts it in, and then so you can also log in and pay for it. So we're working on all of that. We'll have that all set.
I just signed the contract. They're going to send their rep
You're
over to
gonna-
us.
We're going to put together stuff for the presentation
Yes.
so that it's a sales pitch for you so that you can push it to the.
And it is available in all the markets we serve. So it's in the Panhandle, it's in Miami, it's here, and they're all getting the same price. Miami starts at $550, but they're going to get our $400 price too, just because they're big on that. And I talked to my friend Terry Swanson, who's Century 21 Results Realty, who passed us this year, which we're going to have some discussions in Las Vegas. Anyway, he's part of this, and he was able to start with a lower quantity, started with 15, bumped it to 20, bumped it to 25. He says, I'm going all in. So he said they're getting really good results from it. So we'll see more about that. Did that 121, we talked about. Florida 21 is the next event. If you're not going to 121, I get it. It's expensive to spend on hotel rooms and all that stuff, but we should plan on at least going to Florida 21, much less expensive, much closer, no travel cost, except for gas. So plan that. Next one is birthdays. Jackie Pope, 26, coming right up. Kelly Touchton in the room as well.
Birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy early birthday. Anita Radford from Madeira Beach, early birthday. Laura Wolf on the 28th, along with Celeste Busby. Man, lots of this. Mike Pumbaa's on the 28th as well. Tina White with the Roman Group on the 28th. Amar Hujic from IRB from 29. Jean-Claude Duredvel from Sarasota on the 29th. And Jackie Stone on March 1st, coming right up. So happy birthday to y'all. And I do want to remind you this, we're going to do some different things. We were talking yesterday at the manager meeting about how to handle the awards. And I told you, I'm being honest, 2023 kind of sucked. And that shows in the amount of award winners we have. So we're going to do awards differently this year, but we're going to plan a gala. We want to blow it out next year, right? Get a fancy place and like dress up, nighttime event, make it cool. But we want to start now. And this is the target, the beginning target. This is the outside of the bullseye, right? To get to the 140. And if you get to higher than that, you get to 183, 225, which a lot of you do, you're in the game. And that's the national awards. So that's a good target. So if you figure an average commission of $10,000, that's 14 transactions. Remember, it took 40 to get into the Real Trends top 1,000. So 14 is doable. That's just over one a month. So if we set the intention on getting at least one a month at that price, if you get a bigger one, even better, you can make $140,000 gross in this business in 12 months. And we're only really almost 2 months down now, but it's a very big thing. So shoot for that. That's a great number to start for. And once you get that wet taste in your mouth, you want more, and you don't want to go backwards. So that's all I got, Chris. Break off to individual office meetings. Anybody else? Ashley, anything for the greater good? You want to give your team credit for the Platinum Award, since I just did that?
No, absolutely. A huge credit. We'll be having a meeting soon, and I'll send out an email as well. It's kind of last minute for some people, but South Tampa tomorrow, we're going to have some mimosas and celebrate.
Nice. Rachel, look at your little audience growing there. I love it. Nice. Cool. Kathleen, anything to add? Nope. Just love everybody. Perfect. You guys see Pumbaa's post this morning? You guys, I sent a note to my whole family and said, okay, let's all do this and see if we agree. Who do you think was most likely to help hide a dead body? Sam or Jessica? The whole audience said Sammy. Yes, Angelica and I agreed on Sammy. Jennifer said both. So we did that this morning and we started changing colors and everybody's picking and we were pretty much online. But that's kind of fun. So if you're trying to get engagement, that's use the Pumbaa stuff. All right, that's all I got.